For 132 years, a rule has existed in the Washington State Legislature's House of Representatives requiring a supermajority to suspend debate on a bill that has come to the House floor. Last week, House legislators voted 54 to 33 to alter that rule so that now only a majority is required to end debate. Joining me with more on this story is the Center Square's Washington State editor, Brett Davis. Brett, it's been 132 years. Why now?
Right. So, as you noted, back on Friday, January 24th, the Democrats in the Washington State House of Representatives decided by a vote of 54 to 33 to change a longstanding rule. And by that, I mean going all the way back to 1893, that required a supermajority or a two-thirds vote to end debate on the floor. Debate can now be ended with a simple majority vote. To give you some perspective on this, the House is composed of 59 Democrats and 39 Republicans. And to give even more perspective, that 1893 date, that's only a few years after Washington was admitted to the Union in 1889. So back to your original question of why now, my guess is it has something to do with the chamber's Democratic majority increasing from 58 to 40 to 59 to 39 with last year's election. I know Democrats stated rationale for this change, which we're going to get into here in a second, but I think their comfortable majority perhaps emboldened them to take this step. So that would be my guess.
So, what were the arguments that proponents made for the bill?
So Representative Joe Fitzgibbon, a Democrat out of Seattle, he said the change was necessary to avoid instances where debate lingers on in an effort to delay the legislative process and potentially stymie legislation favored by the majority party. Basically, he didn't want to see filibustering or lawmakers making the same points or similar points over and over and over again, which again is interesting given the aforementioned majority status Democrats enjoy in the House right now.
And what did opponents have to say?
Opponents, that is Republicans, as you might imagine, were apoplectic about the rule change. As far as I can tell, they were caught off guard by this move by Democrats. Rep. Travis Couture, he's a Republican from Allen, he argued that every single member on the House floor has a right to, debate. And he said, as long as what they're saying is germane to the issue, they should be able to speak. And he said it shouldn't matter if somebody is repeating what somebody else said. That shouldn't limit anyone's right to debate on any subject. Representative Drew Stokesbury, Republican from Auburn, he noted there are already other restrictions around debate to prevent frivolous delays. So he questioned the need for the rule change made by Democrats. I mean, he pointed out there's like a 3-minute time limit on speaking. And unlike certain other chambers, you can't just get up there and, read the phone book or a Charles Dickens novel. So, he pointed out, with a little humor that, there are already limits. So, why are the Democrats doing this? So it's going to be very interesting to watch the session go on from here. We're just, I think in the third week of a 105-day session, and it's going to be interesting to see how this impacts proposed legislation. So, like I said, this caught Republicans by surprise. Actually, seemed to catch everybody by surprise. I was surprised by it. And when 1893, to go back all the way to 1893, I mean, that's even before I was born.
Yeah. Well, so you mentioned that the Democrats have 59 seats, but only 54 legislators voted to alter the rule. Was that
some of the legislators might not have been on the floor at the time?
Okay.
So this new rule means that instead of the 2/3 of the people on the floor voting to end debate, now it's just a simple majority. So it makes it that much easier for Democrats to quash debate, as it were, and that's what a lot of Republicans are worried about. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see how this impacts legislation.
So then was the vote completely along party lines? No one on one side?
I don't believe any Republicans voted for this change, not surprisingly. So yeah, they made a few other changes while they were doing this. The big one was the changing the rule from 1893, but they also implemented a rule where the governor can no longer bring his staff onto the floor. And they also got rid of, and this is a good thing, I think, title-only bills. So when you introduce a bill, it can't just be a title. It actually has to have some legislation, has to have some text, some wording. So,
well, Brett, thank you for your insights on this story. Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com.